Hey everybody, Andrew Douglas Lane here at the Douglas Moon Fragrance channel, where I give my honest thoughts as I review fragrances from the cheap end all the way to the niche, luxurious, and expensive. And today we're talking about something that's on the designer side and a little bit more in between price range, but maybe definitely, I wouldn't say it's expensive for what you get. Today we're talking about Sauvage's Parfum. Now, you may not have probably seen my very first videos, but I steamrolled all over this one because this was the first edition of Sauvage that I ever had prior to getting the Eau de Parfum, prior to getting the Elixir, and I ended up hating it because at that time, in my stages of perfumery and enjoyment, I was into more bright, less mature, more classic masculine type of fragrances. And since then, my tastes have severely changed due to a lot of exposure to different types of fragrances and perfumery out there. And like I have adjusted kind of the way that my nose has adjusted to the way that I like things and actually what feels soothing and comfortable for me. So I originally had a bottle of this and actually gave it away because me and my wife both didn't like it. It was to us at that time, too soapy. So I can already say off the jump, this is much more of a, like, if you need to have a more matured type of nose scent profile for most people to prefer this over the Eau de Toilette or the Eau de Parfum. And as you probably already know, this is severely different than the Elixir. That's completely different than anything else in the Sauvage line, even though they carry the base name. So to start with, let's go ahead. Well, I want to go ahead and say, I already absolutely love this. This is in my, like, one of my regular uses. You can see I've already got the big bottle of it. So I like keeping this around. I think this is amazing. This has went from something I hated to something I absolutely adore. So to start with, let's talk about the price. 3.4 ounces, it says on the official website, $193. So quite a bit more pricey compared to a lot of other things, but you got a parfum concentration. So if you just spring a little bit extra money, because it says 193 for a 3.4, if you spring a good 60 extra bucks, which again, 60 bucks, 60 bucks to the working person. But if you spend that $255, you get yourself the 6.8, or what is this in fluid ounces? I don't know, and I'm not going to keep wasting your time, but you can get 6.8 fluid ounces for, did I say, whatever. You get a 6.8 fluid ounces for $255. To me, for how much you get out of this compared to a lot of other fragrances that I review and that I even have and love, that's a lot for your buck, especially for a parfum concentration. Let's see some marketing here on their website. We're not going to read the whole thing, but we might, because sometimes they're stupid, but sometimes they're also a little bit more like dramatic and fun. Especially if you've seen the Johnny Depp commercials for Sauvage. It says, Sauvage Parfum is a highly concentrated interpretation of Sauvage, melding extreme freshness with warm ambery tones and an animal beauty that begs to come alive on the skin. Should we keep going? I think to be dramatic, we will. To compose Sauvage Parfum, Dior drew inspiration from a wild, unspoiled expanse beneath a blue-tinged night sky as the intense odors of a crackling fire rise into the air. Its trail unfurls notes of mandarin, tonka bean, and sandalwood. Sauvage Parfum is the fragrance of a new frontier, an interpretation with an enriched and intoxicating trail that celebrates the magic of wide open spaces. Whatever. All right. I like that. That's fun. It's drama. They put all that there and yet kept the note profile very short, because this is a supposedly very rich and complex fragrance, which it is, but they put all that marketing, and then what they say the notes are is like tiny. It says fresh and spicy mandarin, okay, smooth leather tinged tonka bean, all right, and then sandalwood with warm musky notes. Not a lot going on there as far as the explanations go for the note profile, but again, I guess it gets enough to the point. I mean, after they took all that time to talk about, how majestic it is, I guess they just didn't feel like it anymore, and they ran out of steam, and that's okay. This is my 5th or 6th video I filmed for today, and I'm either running out of steam or starting to get loopy. Who really knows? But let's go ahead and talk about the fact that, as always, by the way, you might not be able to see it. Yeah, you can. Nice. Thank you for window light. I love that they always put bees inside of this. I don't know what the heck the bee has to do with anything. I don't know if it's some Dior lore or something. Of all the creatures they could have chose to represent wildness, I think Sauvage is even French for wild. I'm not sure. But they picked a bee. I don't know why, but I do love bees. So I'll take it. It's pretty. One more time. Let's give it a little hand for the bee, everybody. Yeah. Let's go, bee. Anyway, so Sauvage Parfum. Dior is already known for their excellent atomizers. Let's see if you can see it. I've never went back and watched my full videos to see when I do that, if you guys can even see what's happening. Let me do it from the other side. Whatever. If you can't see it, I'm sorry. This is a stupid level performer. There's no getting around that. This is so loud and so radiant and so bright. And honestly, the grapefruit at the top with the tonka and the musk and the sandalwood, I guess I see why that's all that they put, because fresh and spicy mandarin, sorry, not grapefruit, fresh and spicy mandarin, it's very much got that like the warmest, smoky, fiery citrus. It is beautiful. Compared to the Eau de Toilette, this is like crazy level, mature, amazing, dark, rich. The bottle, it just encapsulates the vibe that you get from this. So honestly, the reason why I dramatically read all that marketing is because I think it kind of describes it better than I even could. And I like to think of myself as somebody who speaks kind of all right. This is an incredible fragrance. I feel like such a dingleberry that just 7 months ago, I was like duking all over this in a video, and I was like, you know what? Go for almost any Sauvage except for the Parfum. I take it all back, and I just wanted to show you guys people can change. Things can change, and as you expose yourself to more notes and more concepts and more creations and art and depth, you can change and mature and maybe not always hate things you thought you did, and you also won't always like things you thought you did. I once really loved the Eau de Parfum, and now it's a little too grating for me. It's a little too much to my personal nose's taste. And so I don't like that one anymore, in the sense that like I think it's a great fragrance, but it's a little too harsh on certain parts of the notes. Whereas this one is now some of the most beautiful, rich perfumery I've ever smelled, and I love it. It was very well done. I cherish it. This is a new bottle, so it's an updated formulation. I don't keep up with that stuff very much, but sometimes I know people are like, oh, things have changed, the formula, whatever, Plankton stole the formula and changed it and made it worse, but this Krabby Patty is still perfect. So I think that the longevity and the projection is insane. It's excellent, like similar to the Elixir almost, but not quite as loud. You're getting handfuls of hours, like 5-6 hours of decent enough sillage and projection. You're getting 10 plus hours of overall longevity, like on clothes, and then as well probably like 5 to 8 hours of like really good skin scent. But it becomes super intimate, and it's still there past my 10-hour shift, like on the skin. So for something that has citrus notes, just like Versace Eros, they did an excellent job. A lot of stuff with citrus notes don't last on me at all. Maybe your skin, maybe your hormones, but on me, a lot of stuff with citrus notes just disappear like a fart in the wind. But because of the smokiness and the musks and the amber and sandalwood, this one just stays, and it grips and it doesn't go away. So next to the Elixir, honestly, this might be the best Sauvage you could go for. And so the Sauvage Parfum, I'm going to give it another rare 10 out of 10. Because for performance, for price, for how much you can get, for the bottle materials, the longevity, overall, I got to give it a 10 out of 10 because you can't go wrong with this. And to be honest with you, people that I have very rarely but still encountered who are wearing Sauvage, they're not wearing usually the Parfum. Not that people out in the world don't have, like loads of people don't have this, but I think that so many people already have grown to a point of thinking Sauvage is overrated that a lot of people these days just keep it on the shelf. You can't go wrong adding this to your collection as a daily driver to save your other ones and just to appreciate. And you can wear this whenever you want. The Mandarin gives you the ability to wear this as some type of smoky, beautiful, sensual summer, spring type of vibe, maybe more summer. But then as well, this bad boy is going to go all the way through fall and winter without any complaints. So Parfum Sauvage, DIOR Sauvage Parfum, I say is absolutely incredible, 10 out of 10. And so thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to everybody who watches and forgives and understands that people change and opinions can change. And I like to own up to those things when they happen, because there's another fragrance that I'm going to re-review soon that has become one of my actual top 5 fragrances in the entire world. But at the time of me originally filming it and then posting it, which is done well enough actually so far. So far, 12,000 people at the time of this video have seen me crap all over another particular fragrance that now I absolutely love. So I'm going to have to go back and rewind that back when I talk about it next. But again, your nose with exposure, you don't need to force yourself to like stuff that you really don't like. But through time and exposure, you can come to realize there's things you didn't see or experience or appreciate at first and didn't register, that you actually appreciate things you didn't. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate every one of you. Everybody's welcome here. Again, as always, as long as we are being appreciative and welcoming and accepting of other people, even if we're different. I thank you all so much for watching. God bless each and every one of you, and I love all of you. So DIOR Sauvage Parfum, 10 out of 10. That's my personal experience. If yours is different, tell me your thoughts, tell me your opinions, and tell me what you'd like to see me review. Andrew Douglas Lane, Douglas Moon Fragrance Channel, over and out.